everybody. Happy Tuesday. Welcome back for the second story. As promised, I have everybody's favorite cat, Pete the cat. And this book is Pete the Cat and the Bedtime Blues. It's written by Kimberly and James Dean, and it's published by HarperCollins. And we want to thank them for allowing us to read this book to you today. Now that many of you have started school again, I'll bet you have to go to bed earlier, don't you? Well, this book is all about getting enough sleep and getting to bed at a reasonable time. So, Pete the cat and the gang had a great day. They'd been at the beach, surf and sun, and tons of fun. But when the sun went down, they didn't want the fun to end. Pete had an idea. It's always tough when you have a really good day. You just don't want it to end, do you? Hey, how about a sleepover? More time for tons of fun. Groovy. Pete's place. Let's go. So they're all going to Pete's place. The party was far out, but they knew they couldn't stay up all night. The gang decided it was time to say goodnight. On went the pajamas and out went the light. Good night, Gus. Good night, alligator. Good night, Toad. Good night, Pete. Pete was just about to catch some Z's when, clap, clap, clap. Who did that? Pete asked. It was me, said Grumpy Toad. I don't want to go to bed. I want to clap instead. Pete covered his head. This cool cat needs to go to bed. Good night, Gus. Good night, alligator. Good night, Toad. Good night, Pete. Time to sleep. Pete tried again to catch some Z's when, rat-a-tat-tat. Who did that? Pete asked. It was me, said Gus the platypus. I don't want to go to bed. I want to jam instead. Pete covered his head. This cool cat needs to go to bed. Time to sleep. Good night, Gus. Good night, alligator. Good night, Toad. Good night, Pete. Pete closed his eyes to catch some Z's when he heard munch, munch, munch. Pete had a hunch. It was alligator. He was always up for eating. What could Pete do? What's he eating? Look what he's eating. He's eating pizza. All the clapping, rat-a-tat-tatting, and munching was giving him the bedtime blues. Pete had a groovy idea. These friends just don't want to sleep. What do you think Pete's gonna do? What do you think he's gonna do? He got out his favorite bedtime story and started to read, first to himself and then to the gang. And this book is Pete the Cat and the 10 Little Monsters. So he's gonna try reading to his friends. Pete noticed it was finally quiet. No more clapping, no more rat-a-tat-tatting, and no more munching. They had all settled down. No one made a sound. They all really enjoyed a bedtime story, didn't they? What's your favorite bedtime story? What do you like to read before you go to bed? Pete yawned and turned off the light. Good night, sleep tight, time to catch some Z's. And look, all his friends are sleeping. Tomorrow was another day for surfing, sun, and tons of fun. The end. And there's Pete. And if you can see this, Pete is in his pajamas. Isn't that silly? Cat's in pajamas. The end. So we have some fun activities to go along with this book on our Wakelet page. We have a chart to help you get ready for bed, and we also have some fun Pete the Cat puzzles and mazes. So definitely check them out. And if you do one of the activities, be sure to share it on our Instagram page. I'll be back on Thursday to read another brand new book to you. This book is by LeBron James. I look forward to seeing you back here on Thursday. Until then, have a great week.